We've all been there, those moments when stress feels like it's eating you alive. Maybe it's a difficult conversation at work, a looming deadline, or an argument with someone close to you. You might notice that during these times, your stomach starts to churn, or you feel a heaviness in your chest. Maybe even get a headache or feel your muscles tighten. It's not just in your head. This is your body's way of responding to what's happening inside your emotional world. But why does this happen? What's the connection between your emotions and how your body reacts? It's no secret that our emotions are intertwined with our physical health. Science and ancient wisdom have long agreed that when we experience intense emotions, our bodies react in very tangible ways. For instance, have you ever noticed how your body feels when you're stressed? It's not just a fleeting moment of discomfort. It can spiral into physical issues like stomach pain, ulcers, or even chronic fatigue. On the flip side, when you're feeling genuinely joyful or peaceful, your body feels light, energized, and at ease. It's clear that our emotional state directly influences how our body operates. This mind-body connection is undeniable. When we feel good emotionally, our bodies respond with vitality. We have energy for our day, our immune system works effectively, and our overall health improves. But when we're weighed down by negative emotions, our body takes the hit. Stress, anger, and sadness don't just make us feel bad mentally, they also deplete our physical energy, increase our vulnerability to illness, and ultimately take years off our lives. Let's talk about negative emotions for a moment. Stress, anger, anxiety. These feelings don't just pass by without leaving their mark. They flood the body with adrenaline and other stress hormones, throwing us into survival mode. When you're angry, for example, you may notice that your heart races, your chest tightens, and your body heats up. Your digestive system shuts down because in that moment, your body is preparing to fight or flee. That's the fight or flight response kicking in. A useful mechanism for survival, but damaging when it becomes a constant state of our being. When these emotions become chronic, the effects on the body are severe. Stress doesn't just fade once the stressful situation is over. The wear and tear it causes on your liver, kidneys, heart, and other organs can last long after. Prolonged anger, anxiety, and stress slowly degrade the body, shortening our lifespan and decreasing our quality of life. It's no wonder that stress has been compared to smoking in terms of its harmful effects on the body. One of the most common ways people handle negative emotions is by suppressing them. We've all done it. You might feel a surge of anger or sadness, but instead of expressing it, you push it down. You smile, pretend everything's fine, and go about your day. But those emotions don't disappear. They get stored in the body, often leading to that all too familiar feeling of a pit in your stomach or a heaviness in your chest. Over time, this suppression builds up like a pressure cooker. Eventually, it has to come out. And when it does, it's rarely pretty. The emotions you've been holding in explode, often in situations that don't match the intensity of your reaction. You might find yourself lashing out at someone over something small, feeling like you've completely overreacted. This is what happens when the emotional buildup reaches a breaking point. It erupts like a volcano, leaving behind guilt, shame, and sometimes even broken relationships. Suppressing emotions not only affects our mental state, but also our physical well-being. Each time we push down our emotions, we add another layer to the emotional pressure. The cycle repeats, and over time, it takes a significant toll on the body. It's like holding your arm out straight. It's easy at first, but after a while, the pain becomes unbearable. The same is true of holding in emotions. The effects of stress are well documented, but what's even more alarming is how deeply it affects both our mental and physical health. Stress isn't just a fleeting moment of frustration or worry. It is a fear-based emotional response that keeps the body in a constant state of alert. When you live in a state of stress, your body reacts as though it's in danger. And even though we're not typically running from lions and bears anymore, our bodies don't know the difference between a life-threatening situation and a stressful workday. This constant state of stress wears down the body. Your immune system weakens, making you more susceptible to illness. Your body struggles to digest food properly, and over time, stress contributes to the onset of diseases like heart disease, depression, and even cancer. What's more, stress doesn't just affect you in the moment, it can linger in your body for years. Studies show that even years after a stressful experience like caregiving for a loved one, the body remains more susceptible to illness. Stress isn't something that simply comes and goes, it leaves a lasting mark on your physical health. In today's world, most of the threats we face aren't physical. We're not running from predators in the wild, but our fear-based emotional patterns are still very much alive. When we're anxious or fearful, we perceive threats where there are none. Our mind tricks our body into thinking it's in danger, activating the same fight or flight response that helped our ancestors survive. But in modern times, this response causes more harm than good. It drains energy from critical bodily functions like digestion and immunity, leaving us vulnerable to illnesses. The truth is, the biggest threat to our physical health today is not external, it's internal. Our own emotional patterns, driven by fear and anxiety, wreak havoc on our bodies. And the more we live in these fear-based emotional states, the more our bodies suffer. Our physical health declines and the aging process speeds up. It's a vicious cycle, and breaking free from it requires a deep understanding of how our emotions affect our physicality. So, what's the solution? It's not about avoiding emotions or pretending everything is fine. Instead, it's about understanding the connection between our emotional and physical health. When we can master our emotional patterns and shift away from fear-based responses, we can start to heal both our minds and our bodies. Living in a state of joy, peace, and love isn't just good for our mental health, it's essential for our physical health too. It's possible to lead an active, busy life without enduring the physical toll that stress and negative emotions create. But it requires awareness of our emotional patterns and a commitment to inner transformation. The more we understand how our emotions impact our body, the better equipped we are to take control of our health and well-being. The Art of Inner Mapping in the Inner Foundation series is specifically designed to help you recognize and shift these deep emotional patterns, creating lasting physical and emotional well-being. If you're ready to move beyond stress and emotional overwhelm, this course offers the next step in your transformation.